Hello everyone, welcome back to Success Leaves Clues. Today my guest is Michael FitzGerald, the CEO of OnePageCRM. OnePageCRM is an awesome CRM system that we use and we've used for years. So Michael, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about OnePageCRM.
Yeah, so OnePageCRM, it's just to even explain the term CRM, it's customer relation management. It's a tool that SMEs use to sell their products or their services. And we focus very much on the sales aspect of CRM. So what we did is we applied GTD, getting things done, which is a productivity principle. We applied it to sales, and what it does is focus on what is the next action related to every sale. So you don't actually get distracted or bogged down with charts and graphs. What is that next action? And sales is quite sequential. So there's no point in it's not like project management. You have 10 tasks to do and you have to get all them done. It mightn't necessarily have to be done sequentially, but in sales you have to if you have to make that first phone call, you have to create a proposal, you have to follow up after the proposal, make phone calls, answer technical questions. They all go one after another, because if you don't, if your prospect rejects you and says, okay, we don't need a quotation, we don't have a need for this system, you don't have to do any of the other tasks. So we take it one step at a time, focus on that next action, and that's the main thing that produces results in sales, and it's what makes OnePageCRM unique.
And it frees up time as well, doesn't it, really? I mean, for me, when we implemented the system, we tied it in with a number of other systems that we have, and for us it just freed up no end of time, but it allowed us to report on it. But it also works on what I call KISS, keep it simple, stupid. It works. So it's not like Salesforce or Confusionsoft, which I call it. It works. It's really easy to use. We use it with Zapier. We use it with Xero, we use it with MavenLink and a number of other programs. But for a company that maybe was thinking about a CRM system, what type of company would use it, or what would be the benefit for someone to use it? Because a lot of people, I mean, quite a few people are using them now, but there's obviously a lot of people that don't use it. So what makes yours different, and why would someone use it?
I suppose we're trying to be at that sweet spot. I mean, like, we've all experienced what it's like to try and use a paper-based system, or even Excel, or even just trying to store all that kind of stuff in your head. That's fine if you're like a one-man band. That doesn't make a difference. And then there's the very large organizations, and we're not for them either. It's like massive amount of it's massive cost, I guess, as well, but a lot of customization. But we're for the SMEs. And the SME market, it's you have to get that sweet spot, because it's busy. We don't have specialist admin people. Usually in SMEs in modern day, it's a very slim organization. You don't have extra staff for doing admin, so everybody has to take care of their own admin, and that's why our system comes into play. It's not about the Excel, which bursts at the seams because it's unstructured. It's not any good at sharing with other people on your team. Our system just cuts to what is the next action. You can assign it to other people on your team, and it's all about focusing in on how to close the deal, keep it moving forward.
And it's quite good with the sales funnels and things, and setting targets for the teams as well, isn't it? I mean, we use it a lot with, I said before, Tableau for reporting and things. But also, you said at lunch about how you came up with the idea for OnePageCRM. Just how you came up about it. That was like 7 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably a little bit longer. It's about 8 years ago now. It was literally sketched on a napkin, and it was the foundation of the founding of OnePageCRM was probably in reaction to me looking for a better sales tool, but also having built another product, an accounting app, and just not shipping it, not getting it out there. So I was influenced by two statements that just kept sticking in my head if I was ever to build another app, and one of them was by the founder of LinkedIn, and he had said, if you are not half embarrassed by your product when you release it, you've left it too late. And the other one was by Seth Godin, who said, build in shipping as a feature. And that one really stuck in my head. I said, it's amazing. Imagine if the shipping date on a product was actually one of the most important features. What else would you drop out of that feature set to actually honor that main feature? And so we started the system, or we started the idea to build it, taking the first sketch from my designer, coding it and shipping it within 3 months. And we've just iterated from there. It was like a magic moment of turning on something which had bugs and which was a really minimal set of the feature set that's there today. But what it meant is that we got real straight away. It wasn't about fixing the color of a button or the position of the button. It was like getting emails from users that said we can't log on, we can't click on the link, we can't create an account, and so we fixed all the real stuff, and we've iterated from that day. So it was lean startup before there was lean startup being spoken about. It was kind of MVP before MVP was being started about or being talked about, and it was purely accidental. It was complete reaction of having another system that I built and just never shipping it. We stayed polishing it too long in the garage, and I just said I will never do that again, and if I ever build something else, I will do it based on those two statements, building shipping as a feature. And that's even something that we still use in the company to date. When we come out with new features, or we have to do rebuilding of any part of the system, we set dates and we honor that by saying, okay, what will we strip away from that to actually honor that date on shipping, or what will we throw more resources at it. But we're trying now again to get back to the original time we built OnePageCRM, where we say, okay, let's ship by a certain date, and it just changes everything. It's a really strong part of it, and it's how we start.
And you're constantly improving the system anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
And what's interesting is just say what you're doing, because you're a CEO on tour at the moment, aren't you? So you started your tour, when was it?
2 weeks ago, so it was the 18th of September to the 18th of October, so it's a straight month tour.
And just let everyone know what the CEO on tour is, because that was the thing that I got, and you said I'm coming over to the UK.
It means I meet very interesting people like you. So so it's an idea. I mean, like I want to do something more on the ground. We're a SaaS company. It's a low-cost SaaS low-cost product, so we normally never meet people. It's just like they come, they do a free trial. If they like the system, they take out their credit card, and we don't interact with them unless they have problems, or we help them, and we're very grateful for their business, but we never actually meet them. There's no big sale. We don't walk into their offices. So it's and a little bit like I described last week to one of the visits of our customers. I said it's great meeting healthy people. It's like the doctor in the surgery only ever meets the unhealthy people coming in, and it's like, and then this is like a doctor going out meeting healthy people, and so we meet these brilliant users of OnePageCRM who are using it even better than what we imagined. Instead of just dealing with support queries where people are kind of maybe a little bit confused or have an issue importing. So that's a layer that is just brilliant. Meeting great users, seeing how they use it, seeing what they connected to, and even the ideas for the next generation. And we can do that a certain amount. In Ireland, where I'm actually from. I'm sure you've guessed by the accent, But coming to the UK, where we have a very large percentage of our users here, and actually seeing how they do business, and do they do business different to us in Ireland? Do they do business different to the US? Because of our 11,000 users, we have 50% around America. It's a place where I find it maybe more difficult to do this. We can do it on the ground in the UK because it's so close to us in proximity, same language, same time zone, everything like that. We support the UK market as if it was the Irish market. We don't see any difference. But we've never really done anything on the ground. So I just want to go and meet and feel how people use it, and meet great people like yourself.
You're not doing that in a normal way, are you?
No.
You it's just say to everyone how you are visiting everybody.
Yeah, so it's I'm probably a fan of camping and camper vans all my life, and so when it came on the market, I spotted a camper van that was only ever two come into the UK. It's a Knaus Sealiner 550, and the only other one that has one in the UK is Jamiroquai, and so it was just such an attractive camper van, and I just thought that if I'm going to do something like this on the ground to my users, I'm going to do it in style, and it really is a rock star motorhome. Really beautiful. Yeah.
And Jamiroquai, if you're watching, post a picture of your camper below. Yeah, so it'd be quite good to see what you've done with your camper. So Michael, obviously the business is going very well. You've got a lot of users. You're meeting loads of new businesses and customers. What's your mission then? What's your plan? Well, actually, what's your mission? Because you have a mission, don't you, for SMEs?
Yeah, so our mission is really to help SMEs to actually, not be borne down with administration. It's to actually be ultra focused on sales, because our main mission is that I believe that, we have large enterprises. They may invest in and come to your country, or they may be from your country, and you just never know with large enterprises what can happen. They can switch. But I believe that SMEs are the actual lifeblood of a country. And if I can help SMEs, then I believe I'm helping a country. I'm helping the UK be strong regardless of whatever happens in the future. If SMEs can be efficient, if they can be productive, if they can sell more than they ever could dream of, if they can export more than they can ever dream of, then I believe that I'm helping a whole country be strong, regardless of what happens.
And as an innovator before, because you're an innovator in producing the product, now you're a CEO living in the future. What advice maybe would you give somebody who wanted to bring out a piece of software, or maybe some advice for someone who wanted to come into this space? What advice would you give yourself now back then?
I guess then it's probably back to the accidental part of what happened about shipping, and I think shipping is there's a term, done is better than perfect, and I always believe that if you want to do something, you just start walking that direction. And it always feels like the road is not built. It's not something, there's no clear path for it. I often heard somebody describing this whole startup scene of starting a company as like a roller coaster. Well, it actually isn't. Roller coasters have defined path, and you stay on it, and while it goes up and down, you can reach the end. It's actually more walking road, and the road is being built before you. But when the crazy thing about a startup is that it actually also feels like in the famous Roadrunner cartoon, the cliff was being eroded away from behind you, and well, that feels like the funding, but there's only one way to do it, and that's to start to walk. And when the funny thing about walking in a direction, or just doing something, just starting, the world changes and the world aligns. Sometimes if we overanalyze, we get paralysis by analysis, or whatever it's called, and you just don't do what you actually could achieve, because you don't. If you knew how strong your competitors were, if you knew how much effort and resources it would take, you probably would never do that start. But the world aligns once you start walking that direction. I think it's
taking the first step.
Take
really,
the first step
and make it happen. Yeah, and also not having to wait for it to be perfect, and then just take the feedback from the customers and keep improving. I mean, you're working on some new systems as well now. I don't know if you're able to say anything about those, but you've got some new systems that you've got coming about, and you're doing your tour. When does your tour finish?
So the 18th of October. So I'm heading north from here towards Nottingham and Leeds and Edinburgh and Glasgow, and then we come back down again. And I think I have one more visit, and I'm back into London for another few visits.
And you also, we were speaking at lunch, you were saying you have an interesting way with your team about when you're building a system, sometimes you sort of throw them straight into the deep end of saying you want to build it in Chinese.
Yeah. Okay. So I better tell you a little bit about our So we've a new product that we're hopefully working on. It's very much at concept stage now, but there's some part of it built. But so we believe in, I suppose, one of the main advantages of building a system from Ireland comes from a disadvantage. So we've got a tiny internal market in Ireland. I think the same amount of cars that are in Birmingham is in the whole lot of Ireland. So we've got this very small internal market. So from the very start, we actually think global. We don't think about an internal market. So we think, US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and then possibly other countries then as well with other languages. So what that makes you do is you wake up thinking differently than maybe if you were a French person developing a French system. And one of the things that it's done, so recently we had an internal hackathon just to build this first product. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, we had this. We started this internal hackathon. It was 18 hours long, and I threw a curveball at the team saying the first version of the app has to be built in Chinese. So that means you cannot hard code one English word into the whole application, and it makes you think that way. And we have one of our product managers. She's from Iran, and I said, okay, for this whole day, you have to simulate as if you were working in an office in Tehran building a piece of software for the Iranian market, what would it look like? And so it's amazing, and the whole team could see this whole software that's mirrored from right to left, totally different. So it's not just about translating, but feeling like a native tool to all those users that are read from right to left. And the only way you can do that is to build it into the DNA of the application. So if it's done from the start and the CSS is able to just mirror left to right, you will never get as close to that again. So if you're born, I mean, the first thing you want to do for a web app or a mobile app is be born mobile or mobile first, or be born on the web, and then after that, there's more layers. You can be born as a foreign language, born as reading right to left, born for whatever market that you're going after. So if you think that way, it's all built into DNA, and you can never really even change that DNA. It's something that's going to stand to you when you're after that market, and it's something that's going to probably, end the life of that product in years to come because of being born with that DNA.
So you're sort of starting as you mean to go on, really, isn't it? You're working on a global stage already. You're growing the products and the awareness of the brand on those stages. So you're thinking with the end in mind. One of the things that you've done a lot of personal development yourself, and you've got a mastermind group of people and successful businesses that you work with to help you get to the next level. I mean, thank you ever so much for coming on the show. Really look forward to seeing where you're going next. Two things. What does success look like for you personally?
I probably give myself a hard time when it comes to success. I don't know whether it'll be like is it the island Ithaca, the Greek mythology? It's an island that you never actually reach. So I'm not sure whether I will ever feel fully success in business and growth and stuff like that. But I know that I have a layer, or there's a shell of success within me, and it's all around family, and it's time with my three boys, and showing them an example of, I want them, if they never have a penny when I'm finished my business and they start their life in work or business, once they have confidence, because then they can do whatever they want. So if I can only be an example to build their confidence, that's it. I don't ever want them to say I can't do something. I just want Odie to ever say yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. And the last one, success for OnePageCRM. Then do you have a date in mind for a large number of users that you have a big target that you're looking for?
Yeah, so we have about 11,000 users at the moment, but the next milestone we want to reach is 60,000 users. And so we believe what we have coming out, and the additional aspects we have for OnePageCRM that can address new markets, I believe we can hit 60,000. So that is the aim within the next 2.5-3 years.
Awesome, fantastic. Thank you ever so much, Mark, for coming on. Wish you best of luck, and see you again.
Just give the hashtag. It's so if you follow hash CEO Tour or hashtag CEO Tour, you can follow us on Twitter as we get around the country.
Awesome. So if you haven't got a CRM system already, check out OnePageCRM. It is awesome. It's actually freed up so much time for us. I recommend it to a lot of businesses who've maybe not even used a CRM before. And even if you are using a clunky CRM system, have a look at it. It's awesome. Have an epic evening all, and see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.